Today we're talking about how mold can damage your thyroid and your stress hormones and even turn your hair gray. I'm Dr. Osborne, spending this year teaching you about the harmful effects of environmental mold exposure. And today let's dive in. So this is a study that was published in the Archives of Toxicology, and it elucidates a mechanism for a particular toxin produced by Penicillium and Aspergillus molds. This toxin is called Ochratoxin A. And this toxin has a mechanism of action whereby it blocks, I'm going to make this make sense, stay with me, the hydroxylation of phenylalanine. Now, what does that mean? So it blocks hydroxylation of phenylalanine to tyrosine. Why that is important is tyrosine's functions. Tyrosine is an amino acid. We get tyrosine from eating animal meats. We get it from eating cheeses and dairy. There's certain nuts that are rich in tyrosine. It's an important amino acid that helps your body make thyroid hormone. It helps you make the happy neurotransmitter dopamine. It also helps you make the stress hormones adrenaline and noradrenaline. It also helps you produce the pigments in your skin and hair, that melanin pigment. And it also works on protein signaling that helps prevent cancer and maintains growth and healing and repair in the human body. So tyrosine's a pretty important amino acid. Now we can eat it in our foods, but predominantly it can come from phenylalanine, which is another amino acid we eat in our food. And backing up to this mold toxin blocks our ability to make tyrosine, and so thereby blocking our ability to do all of these necessary things for good health. Now that being said, let's look at this a little bit closer. So here's phenylalanine, and here's that hydroxylation. This is where the mold toxin, Ochratoxin A, it blocks this right here. So it blocks phenylalanine's ability to make tyrosine. And when you can't make tyrosine, you also can't make dopamine, norepinephrine, or epinephrine, otherwise known as noradrenaline and adrenaline. So these are very important key chemicals your body, your brain needs. Dopamine is responsible for our reward centers in our brain. Dopamine also plays a role in movement and coordinative movement. So this is why people with diseases like Parkinson's with low dopamine develop tremors. So we need to make dopamine. If you look at mold toxicity and some of the symptoms associated with mold toxicity, what do we see? We see tremors. We see depression, nerve inflammation. We also see a reduced ability to cope with stress. People that are living in mold and poisoned by it generally are super tired and fatigued and brain foggy. And if any small stress comes up, they just can't handle it. Why? This is one of the mechanisms. The mold toxin blocks tyrosine production, which reduces your ability to make these chemicals that help you cope, adapt, deal with stress. And so that's part of the problem. Now, one of the other parts of the problem with mold has to do with the other function of tyrosine. Tyrosine also plays a role, here's tyrosine, plays a role in making thyroid hormone. It's T3 and T4. So if you're low thyroid, if you have hypothyroid, your T4 and your T3, the T is tyrosine. So if you can't get to tyrosine because you've got a mold toxin blocking that conversion, it's also going to potentially reduce your ability to make thyroid hormone. What's that going to do? That's going to make you tired and brain foggy. It's going to cause muscle and joint pain. It's dry skin, crepey skin. So a lot of times we'll see patients that have skin that starts to crepe up because of the thyroid malfunctioning. It's going to cause it can cause a tremendous ability or inability rather to lose weight, because remember your thyroid hormone sets your metabolism. So very important functions. We've got a toxin from a mold blocking the ability to make tyrosine, which then subsequently blocks your ability to make reward hormones and stress hormones, but also thyroid hormones. If you want to learn more about mold and mycotoxins and the impact they have on human health, if you suspect you might be in mold, I want you to come visit me at moldjacked.com. We've got tons of free information there for you. Make sure you sign up. We'll see you on the other side.